Alright guys, so now we're going to just show some concepts for maintaining or controlling the collar and sleeve position. This is going to be necessary immediately after you pull guard using the collar and sleeve. If you can't maintain or hold that position, it's going to be really hard for you to get to Del Hiva. So from the collar and sleeve, alright, just some ideas here. I have collar and sleeve grips, right? Now, at the very start of this, the person might be trying to just move to one side or the other, right? So if I keep my hips on the mat and he starts moving to one side, I can't really follow him, okay? Eventually he gets far enough to where he can just knock my feet off and start threatening to pass. Okay, so again, what that looks like if my hips are on the mat, he just steps to the side. I can only follow about as far as my legs go. Okay, and then I lose the position. Now, if I just lift my hips slightly off the mat, okay, hips and head off the mat, okay, think again like turtle on its shell. He starts walking to one side, okay, and I go with him. Right, hips on the mat, he starts walking to one side, I can't go. Now, if I ever happen to forget that I'm supposed to be doing that, when he starts getting to the side, I can lift my hips, and that will pull me right back to a square angle with him. Right, so he starts stepping, I forgot, I lift my hips and I come back, okay? I think it's better to keep your hips up slightly the whole time. Okay, that way he never really gets ahead of you. But if you do forget, just lift your hips, okay, and you'll be able to come back. Okay? So that's the first one. That's just if he's moving side to side, keeping the hips off the mat. All right, and the same concept applies for the next one, and that's if the person's trying to pull me off my back. Now, the reason he might be trying to pull me off my back, again, if he's trying to attack like a leg drag or a Toriado quickly, same as the last one, say he's able to successfully say, I keep my hips on the mat, he's able to just deadlift me off the mat. Yeah, okay, if he steps back, he'll be able to clear my legs and pass to the side. Okay, again, what he would be able to do if I keep my hips on the mat, he pulls me up, clears my legs, and starts threatening my side. All right? Now, if I keep my hips off the mat and he starts trying to pull me back, okay, it's going to be like he's dragging me on the mat. See if you can take a couple steps pulling me in. All right, yeah. If I keep my hips off the mat, that's what it looks like. All right, let's step back a little bit. Same as before, if I happen to forget that I'm supposed to keep my hips off the mat while I'm playing this guard, he'll pull me up, keep pulling hard at him. But when I remember, I'll be able to lift my hips and pull myself back underneath him. So again, what it looks like if I forget completely is he's going to threaten that pass. So he pulls me up, he threatens the pass. Okay? If I remember, okay, my hips are off the mat, he's going to be dragging me. Very good. And then last, if I forget and then remember, he pulls me up, and then I'm able to scoop myself back underneath him. Okay? Now for the last one, this is when the person's looking to stack me. So they're reaching through my legs, grabbing either a waistband pants grip or a belt grip. Okay, and they're looking to stack me. So now it's the opposite, right? I needed to keep my hips off the mat for the other ones. If my hips are off the mat and my head's off the mat for this one, he'll be able to pull me back onto my shoulders. So just to show what that looks like. All right, and again, it could be either pants or belt grip. He just reaches through my legs, right? He pulls my hips up and starts putting my toes in that, to threaten a possible leg drag. Okay? So now, if he happens to try this, right, and I recognize on time, I'm going to make myself like a plank. I put my hips down, I put my head down, right? I make my hips very heavy. Now, as he tries to lift me, it's not going to happen. Okay? If he starts being able to lift me, I walk back on my shoulders and make my legs very heavy, okay? And I make my head very heavy. Right? It feels very scary at first to be pulling your head back to the mat while he's trying to lift you on your shoulders. You might be afraid for your neck, but it's the right thing to do to keep your butt very flat on the mat and your head very flat on the mat, making you like a board, okay? So I need to make myself like a board. Then it's going to be very, very hard, okay, for him to tilt me up onto my neck. So I'm a board. Very hard, right? If my back is curved, my hips are up the way that I said. For guard control, I get stacked, okay? So again, I'm a board, not happening, okay? My hips are up, he stacks me, right? If I recognize a little bit late, I gotta walk back on my shoulders, okay? But notice the same thing. My legs are wide, my hips are heavy, my head is back, okay? Oh, yes. Let's go on the other side. Let's show the same thing. All right. So first, collar and sleeve. Okay, he's going side to side, hips lifted, side to side. Okay, if I forget, and then remember, I can pull myself. Okay, so this is if I remember. All right, if I forget. Okay, let's come back. So let's do that again. Okay, so the first idea for collar and sleeve retention or control is when he's moving side to side, I need to make sure I keep my hips and my head off the mat. So first, this is the right way, right? Let's go back. If I forget, look, you can pass. Or, if I remember, I can always pull myself back. Okay, so just for controlling the position, hips off the mat, head off the mat, right? Next, if he's trying to pull my back off the mat, so he'll grip my collar, he's trying to pull my back off the mat, remember what he might be able to do, okay, is just step right by me. Okay, if I'm doing the right thing, my hips are off the mat, he'll be dragging me. Good. Okay, and then if I forget and then remember, he pulls me up, I scoop myself back under by lifting my hips, okay? And then again, that last one, when he's trying to stack me, okay, he's trying to stack me through my guard here. Look, my head and my hips are off the mat. Okay, that's what I said was the right thing to do. Okay, but now I'm getting stacked. So what I need to do in this case, right, he's already got me. Look, I start making my hips very heavy, and I shoulder walk back. So keep lifting me, Eddie. Hips heavy, shoulder walk back, right? If I recognize as soon as he sets that pants grip, right, I won't get stacked at all. He resets the grip, I immediately start making my body like a plank. Okay, hips down, head down, he can't lift me. All right, what you would need to be aware of, obviously, is him beginning to jump over. Okay, but then that's where feet on the biceps will come into play. That's where del Hiva will come into play. All right, but just as far as not getting stacked goes, plank. Okay. All right, guys. So maintaining the del Hiva guard when our opponent is stepping over our distance managing leg, looking to threaten headquarters position or a knee slide position. So I'm in del Hiva controlling ankle and collar. Right? The person on top is going to push my hook out. Right? They're going to push my other heel to my butt and look to step over. Either he's stopping here or he's going all the way to a knee slide position. Right? So if he gets all the way to a knee slide, that's not going to be ideal for me. Okay, I can still work from there. Okay, but it's not the best. So for this technique will work best if I recognize him stepping over, okay, and I time when this back leg is off the mat. Okay, if I let him settle his hips, sometimes it's difficult for me to do this. All right, so he does this right. He pushes my hook out. He starts to step over. What I'm looking to do is use this hook right here on his thigh or his butt, okay, to lift him. Right. I'm also pulling his collar. So I pull the collar and I lift him, looking to make him post his hands above my right shoulder here. So I pull and I lift. All right. From here, you're going to notice me do like a little bit of like a back roll, all right, and a stiff arm. Okay. Now, from here, what I'm going to do is similar to our guard pull earlier, or a re-pull, or a swinging guard pull. I'm going to chop my leg down, okay, looking to pivot on my back, and reset my ankle to start playing del Hiva again. All right, we can do that again from right here. He goes to step over. Look, I lift and pull here to make him post over my right shoulder. As he posts over my right shoulder, you're going to see me stiff arm him. All right, and then begin to swing back into del Hiva. So pull, make him post. All right, I'm going to chop my legs down and spin back to del Hiva. One more time. All right, and if you guys are drilling this properly, you'll end up moving in a circle the same way we just did right now. Okay? So again, we're in del Hiva. He pushes my hook out and steps over. Okay, pull, lift, make him post. Okay, chop the leg down and reset. Let's go back to this side. Okay. now I want to show how I ideally need to time this. Okay, again, I want this back leg off the mat as I go to pull him. So I feel him stuffing my heel to my butt. I recognize he's going to step over. I pull as that back leg is off the mat. So he pushes my hooks out. He goes to step over. I'm already pulling him before that back leg ever lands. Okay, and that's going to be the best timing for this position. All right, especially once you start getting into training with bigger opponents, stronger opponents. If it's somebody my own weight or somebody a little bit heavier, if they sink their hips down in this HQ position or headquarters position, right, like the weight's back on his hips, it can be pretty difficult. Right now, Eddie's a bit smaller than me. I could lift Eddie, right, just using strength, right, but it's definitely better if I can time it. Okay, so just to show that timing again. All right, he goes to step over. Before that foot ever hits the mat, I'm already off balancing him. Okay, back rolling, and then resetting my Delhi Hiba. All right, guys, so now our opponent's going to be able to successfully step over to a knee slide position. Previously, we're able to stop them before they got there, or maybe they chose to just stop at headquarters. All right, but now they're going to step all the way over to knee slide. Okay. And we're going to have to use a reverse Delhi Hiba. So I'm playing Delhi Hiba, all right? And my opponent's able to push my hook out, step over, and begin stepping to the knee slide position, right? If I hold on to my grips for too long, okay, he's just going to be able to get head and arm control, get chest to chest with me, and start sliding through. Right, so there's a point where my grips don't make sense anymore, okay? That's exactly what he wants to do. Put me in a situation where my grips don't make sense. Okay, a really common mistake is that people start playing this position, right? The person starts stepping over, their ankle grip doesn't make sense anymore, but they try to hold on as long as they can. The collar grip doesn't make sense anymore. They try to hold on as long as they can. I'm getting smashed here. I should have let go a long time ago. All right, and that happens a lot. I see that happen a lot to people when they first start playing Delhi Hiba. So I have to make sure I recognize I'm losing the position. Okay, he's starting to step over. Doesn't make sense for me to hold on anymore once he starts kicking free of my grip here. So what I have to do immediately as he steps over to a knee slide is hook his leg here. Let's actually rotate a little bit here, Eddie. Okay, hook his leg here. Okay, this is the reverse Delhi Hiba hook. I would not play it with my foot on the mat like this. I'm just showing so you can see. Let's come back. All right, and at the same exact time, get your hips a little bit lower and threaten a little more. I'm going to frame his far shoulder and bicep. Okay, if I'm framing his far shoulder and bicep, he's not going to be able to hug my head. Okay? So the things I have to look out for are him hugging my head or gripping my collar. All right, so this is a good set of grips for that. Let's see your hips back a little bit more. All right, at the same time, usually he's going to have this hand on the inside of my hip. Right? If he has the inside control on my hip here, it's going to be easier for him to look to get to a head and arm. If he's able to pummel this arm free, right, he's inside my leg, he'll start threatening, okay, to smash me. So here, look, I have my reverse Delhi Hiba hook. I have the frame on his shoulder and his bicep. I'm going to need to pummel this leg in on his ribs. So a couple ways I can do this. Sometimes, right, I'm loose, I feel flexible. I've had a few rolls already. It's easy for me to pummel this leg right in. Okay, toes in his ribs right here. All right. Now I have probably the best control I could have in reverse Delhi Hiba. Okay, without having any kind of actual grips. Okay. Sometimes though, the person's in pretty close. It's hard for me to just pummel this leg over. Okay, so what I will do is split my hands here. I push both shoulders, I push his chest away, I pummel this leg over heel first. Okay, some people have a hard time pummeling the leg over. All right, in that case, two things that I would advise. Either trying to bring your knee under their elbow and frame by hooking their armpit, okay, or use more like a knee shield frame here. Okay, I don't like the knee shield frame as much. I feel like people threaten me with like a crazy dog pass, like if he weaves this arm through, over under pass, or crazy dog when he reaches his hand through here and starts gripping my pants or my thigh. Okay. I just don't like it as much. All right, I prefer having my leg over like this. All right, so again, I'm in Delhi Hiba. He's going to threaten that knee slide position, and I need to use a proper reverse Delhi Hiba frame. Again, I don't want to hold on too long. He steps over, I reverse Delhi Hiba hook, frame the shoulder and the bicep at the same time. Again, notice how I'm keeping this knee tucked into my chest too. This is a big problem for some people too, is that when they start accepting this this angle, this reverse De La Riva angle, they'll step this foot on the mat so that they can hip escape. But if I step this foot on the mat, now he can just reach his arm over, start controlling my hip, and now it's going to be almost impossible for me to get that leg back over. Okay, so that's also very important that as he steps over, whether he has his hand on my hip or not, I keep this knee to my armpit as best I can. Okay, now he can't control my hip. Okay, it's going to be difficult for him to start passing. All right, he'll have to break my frame down. All right, and then once I get this leg in on the inside, all right, this is where I'm pretty much in control of the situation. He definitely has a lot of passing options from here, okay, but not as many as if he had the hand on the inside of my hip or if he was hugging my hip, right? From here, though, I could play reverse De La Riva. I don't really like to play reverse De La Riva that much, all right? Some people are very good at forcing me into this position. I have to play it. Okay, my preference would be to play De La Riva, okay? There's more distance between the two of us. There's less attacking options for him. Okay, it's a little bit better for me if I can get to De La Riva, right? So from the reverse De La Riva, again, if I was looking to attack, I could control his collar and sleeve or his wrist and collar. All right, but if I'm looking to just get back to my guard, what I'm going to do is reach this right hand under and control his ankle. From here, what I'll do is push him away using my hook and my foot on his hip. Okay, these both help me push him away. Now, I'm going to step my hook out, or take my hook out, step on his hip. I will lift my hips, okay, swivel on my back, and then pass the grip to my other hand. Okay, from here I swing into De La Riva. Okay, I can kick his leg, sit up, control his collar, and now I have collar and ankle De La Riva again. Okay, so the full drill is using the proper reverse De La Riva frame to stop him from knee slide passing. Okay, from there, we're going back to De La Riva. All right? So I'm in De La Riva. He threatens that knee slide. I use my proper frame here, okay? Just like so. Now, when I want to get back to De La Riva, control his ankle underneath my leg. Okay, just another detail too. If the guy's really threatening a knee slide pass here, and he's like bending your reverse De La Riva hook, and you start feeling like your knee or your hip are hurting, just take this arm, okay, and you can hold underneath your knee. This will take that pressure off. All right, but when you're ready to get back to De La Riva, you need this arm here anyway. Control his ankle. Use your foot on his hip or your foot on his ribs and your reverse De La Riva hook to push him away. All right, that creates some space for you to start stepping on the hip, lifting your hips up to him, switching your grip, and coming back to De La Riva. Right, from here, if I want to sit up, sometimes you can kind of like cheat a little bit and just sit from right here. Okay, some people are even long enough to just swipe and get a grip from here. Okay, but especially if his chest is up, what I would need to do is kick his leg so I can sit up and reach his collar. From here, I can come back into a normal De La Riva with the collar and ankle. Okay, let's just step again. De La Riva, steps over. Okay, frame, and put in my inside hook. Okay, from here, I'm looking to control his ankle, push him away, step on his hip, lift my hips, replace my De La Riva, controlling collar and ankle. One more time. Other side. All right, guys. So now, sometimes people will remove your reverse De La Riva. Sometimes people will remove your De La Riva hook and start pressuring forwards into that side, so you cannot replace your hook. right? And then sometimes they do the same thing, looking to cut their shin out over your shin, okay, to break your ankle grip. So just to explain or to show, let's actually shoot this way. First situation is he's just pushing my hook out and then pressuring his knee straight forward, right? Because now it's difficult for me to replace his hook. He's not really giving me the space to do it. Okay, that's the first situation. And then the second situation, he'll essentially do the same thing and then cut his knee over my shin, okay, until he can break that grip and then threaten a knee slide position on the other side, okay? So to deal with the first situation, all right, if he's just pushing my hook out and pressuring forwards, instead of just sitting here, what I will do is continue controlling his ankle and then extend my hamstring into his leg to almost apply like a knee bar pressure. Okay, so I'm pushing his knee with my hamstring, right? And from here, all I have to do is put my De La Riva hook back in, and then I can get right into all my different attacks from here. Okay, again, with that, looks like he pushes my hook out. He's pressuring just straight forward into me. Really hard for me to replace the hook from here. Okay, and because I don't have a butterfly hook or anything with this leg, I can't lift him and make him post. Okay, so what I have to do is continue holding onto his ankle. I begin just kicking my leg back into his shin and then sliding it up to the knee, putting pressure on his knee like a knee bar. Okay, this foot will go back to his hip or his thigh. Okay, and I'll put my De La Riva hook back in. Right, one more time, he pushes my hook out. Okay, I push back into him, almost like I'm pulling his heel. Put this hamstring pressure. A good note too is I'm kind of like turning my knee in to push against his knee. It's not really just my hamstring. Okay, this is effective as well. But if I really want to push directly on his knee, I point my knee at his knee. Okay, and I really pressure his knee like this. Right? Now the next situation is when he pushes my hook out and starts cutting his shin over. Right? Yeah, okay, so if I stay here for too long, he's going to get to that knee slide position. So what I need to do is start using like a knee shield to push him and try to push his hip back to that back left corner. So I'm pushing my knee into his like belly, okay, pushing him straight back. Okay, what I do here, put my De La Riva hook back in. Okay, I can return this foot stepping on his stomach. Typically from here at this angle, what I'd look to do is start sitting up forward, gripping his belt, possibly begin spinning underneath him. Okay, but for the purpose of the drill, we'll just have the person come back to a normal De La Riva. Right? So again, he's not just pushing my hook out and pressuring forward, he's pushing my hook out and starting to cut the shin out. If I wait too long, he's getting back to that knee slide position. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing my shin across his belly like a knee shield. Okay, I'm pushing into him, into his hips to try to make him sit back just a little bit. As I'm able to make him sit back a little bit, I replace my De La Riva hook. Okay, I can begin stepping on him and attacking. Okay, from there. Let's get a head-on angle here. Again, when he pushes my hook out and starts pressuring me straight, I pressure straight back into his knee, okay, and I replace my hook. Right? When he pushes the hook out and he starts cutting the shin over, I start laying to my left hip here. Also good to note I'm stiff-arming him, right? He might be pressuring a little bit more forward, right? And I start pushing into his belly with my knee. From here, I can replace my De La Riva hook and step back on him. Okay, just start attacking him from the De La Riva. Alright guys, so now some De La Riva off-balancing drills. The off-balances are really important for setting up any of the, or a lot of the submission and sweeping and back attacks that we have from the De La Riva. Alright, so the first one's a forward off-balance. Let's actually switch sides here. So the forwards off-balance, there's actually a sweep that's very similar to this, but for now we're just going from collar and ankle. All right, and again, when I'm playing De La Riva, my hand controlling his ankle will stop his side-to-side movement. So if you ever have somebody that's moving really fast side-to-side a lot in sparring and you just decide you want to stop that, the best thing for you to do is just control an ankle. It'll be hard for him to move side-to-side. Different variations of ankle control that you can have, actually, can we just switch sides here? Just give me the other foot. All right, I could just hold his ankle like down by his heel. Okay, I could control his pants. All right, and another control I like too is underhooking. Okay, they all serve different purposes. It just depends on your preference, what you like. For the most part, I usually just control the ankle or underhook the leg. Sometimes though, or in the past, I've used the pants grip a lot. Right. But let's come back here. So again, controlling his ankle. I have my De La Riva hook, which is good for twisting, which we're going to be twisting him in just a second. It's good for pushing him and pulling him. Okay. This foot right here controls the distance. All right, but it's also good for making him post, which you're going to see in a second. All right, so I could step here, could step here, could step here. I could hook here. All right, for now, we're just keeping the foot right inside here. And then this hand, obviously, this controls. If he's grabbing my pants, I can grab his sleeve. I can grab his collar. I can grab a straight collar grip. I can grab his belt or his pants. All right. But for now, we're working from collar and ankle. All right. So for the first off balance, I'm kicking his leg. I'm pulling his collar like I'm trying to pull his forehead into the mat. Okay. But then at the same time, you're going to see me get onto my right hip, shifting my hips under his foot and lifting his foot off the mat. Now I'll show you both sides. So I kick, I pull, I use my hook and my hand to twist his knee. Okay. Just like so. For the drill, he just comes back. Okay, we reset the position. I kick his leg again, pull the collar again, repeating the same technique. So kick, pull, and then twist his knee. Kick his leg, pull the collar, twist his knee and his heel. All right, notice how I didn't take my De La Riva hook out. I want to keep this in the whole time. Okay? Switch sides here. Again, now you can see a little bit better what's going on in the back leg. It's very common that when people first start doing this, all they do is stay straight on with the person and kick their leg back. All right, but it's going to be very hard for me to make him post his hands if I don't twist this knee. So if I just kick him straight back and I try to pull the collar, like I am hinging him over at his hips, which is pretty good. Okay, but it's not exactly what I want. What I want is this. Okay, so that extra little hip escape to lift that foot off the mat is really important. Okay, because this puts all his weight on the back leg and on his hand. All right, this makes him a lot more vulnerable than if he's able to stand like this. Okay, so we're kicking him, we're lifting that back leg. Kick, pull, and twist. All right, so that's a forwards off balance. All right, so just something else for that forwards off balance. To be honest, when I first learned that, when I say I was like a purple belt, it was really hard for me to just kick the leg. All right, what really helped me, and I think it might be because I'm a little bit longer, okay, than the people that I was learning from, I would hook his knee right here. Okay, I like this because it makes it a little bit easier for me to bend that back leg too. Okay, so I can just kick his leg or I can hook and kick his leg. So it's more like my shin is pushing his knee. So I pull, okay, I kick with the hook and I extend like this. All right, what's nice about this is that now if I wanted to, I could just step just to get a little extra distance. Okay, let's actually turn to the other side. Okay, so again, a couple of reasons I do this. One, I think because I'm a little bit longer than some people that play the position, this is a little easier for me than just stepping. Okay, so I can pull, extend, just like so, and then move to stepping here. All right, but another reason I think I like it a lot too is because sometimes when people do this to me, I will grip their heel and pull up. So like if they're stepping and kicking, I grip their heel, I pull up. Now they can't stretch me out anymore if I'm the top person. All right, so that's something I like about this. Is now if he tries to grip my leg and pull up, he's just pulling into my hook. Okay, and I can use the same thing. All right, but that's not to say that everybody's gonna like this or that this or this is gonna work for everybody. You have to figure out what works best for you. For me, this is more what I use. I use this butterfly hook a little bit more. All right, for some people though, like I think Eddie actually here, I think he prefers to just step and kick, okay? So just another option if you're playing this position. All right, so now we're gonna work a backwards off balance. So having the ability to work both forwards and backwards will really increase your chances of attacking your opponent. So now, instead of kicking him forward and pulling the collar, okay, we're just gonna go with a straight back off balance. So what I'm doing is pulling the collar to me, all right, and I'm putting my toes, you would posture up just a little bit, Eddie, putting my toes either right on his belt or like right above the belt, okay, but in the center. I don't want to step too far to where I'm going to potentially end up leg dragging myself, all right, but I want to get my foot where it's going to be effective at bending him over at his hips. So let's come back down here, please, Eddie. All right, so I'm pulling the collar to me. I keep my Delhi heel hook nice and strong, and I'm stepping in his belly. Okay, first I'm just going to show like if he doesn't fall all the way down. Okay, so I'm kicking both legs, pulling the collar, really making him hinge over at the hips. And important to note that with this Delhi heel hook, I'm not just hooking or dorsiflexing my foot. I'm hooking here, or I'm also twisting my knee a little bit, and I'm extending. Or actually, I'm twisting my knee in. So flexing the foot, okay, rotating the knee in, and extending. Almost like I'm trying to get my toes into the groove of his hip here. Okay, so this is very important that I'm extending this hook nice and strong. All right, so I'm pulling my collar grip, pushing both grips into his belly and his hip, just like so. And you see how this off balances him backwards. What this is really nice for is helping me to sit up onto my elbow and get a belt grip or a pants grip, okay? Those grips are really good for setting up baby bolos, barambolos, okay, or a lot of the back take game, okay, in the Delhi heel hook. Okay, so again, all right, I'm not even going to try forwards off balance right now. What I'm looking to do for this drill is just kick him in his belly as I pull the grip, make him take a step back. Now I could sit up and grab this belt grip, okay, and start moving into a back attack. All right, the next situation that happens a lot here, especially if you say you've used a baby bolo on the person a lot, and they don't, no one really wants to get their back taken, right? A really common thing is the person will just sit down. That'll cut off your angle to the back. So I'm going to go over this backwards off balance, and instead of him just stepping back, okay, he's going to go with it and sit all the way down, okay? So for the purposes of doing this in a drill, it would look like this. Let's come back up. First, he'll just step, we square back up, I go again, and he sits down. So for the drill, it looks like this. I kick, I pull, he steps. Nope. For the drill, it would look like this. I kick, I pull, he steps, he comes back. Okay, then I kick, I pull, and then he's just going to sit. Okay, we come back, and then we reset. Okay, I kick, I pull, he steps, we come back. I kick, I pull, he sits, we come back. And again, really important, this Delhi heel hook. Flexing, internally rotating, extending. Okay, putting a lot of tension and torque on his knee, making it difficult for him to stay square with me. All right, let's show the other side of it. So first, he's just stepping back, okay, creating a lot of tension, okay, hinging him over at the hips. Then he comes back. Then he sits on the mat. Okay, notice I haven't pulled this hook out, it stayed in the whole time. Come back. Let's just do it a couple times, Eddie. Let's angle a little bit. First. Okay? So that's the backwards off balance drill. Okay, so now we're combining our two forms of off balance. We're combining our forward off balance with our backwards off balance. Now you could potentially start with the backwards off balance and then move to a forwards off balance, or you could go the other way. Usually I start the drill with a forwards off balance and then work backwards, so we'll show like that. But again, you could go either way. So starting in Delhi heel with the ankle and the collar. All right, remember what I said before. Either I'm just kicking the leg or I'm hooking his leg. All right, you choose what works for you. Okay, but I'm kicking, pulling, and twisting to make him post. His natural reaction is to try to square back up with me, get to a good stance, and then as I feel him coming back, I shift my hips and I immediately begin, okay, that backwards off balance. So I kick, I pull, I twist, I make him post. As he comes back, I pull the collar. Okay, I apply tension on his knee with my Delhi heel hook, and I put the hips in the mat. Let's just show this. Alright, so kick, pull, twist. It's actually so slow. Kick, pull, twist. As he comes back, you'll see my hips shift. My Delhi heel hook goes a little bit deeper. Okay, I step my toes right in his belly. I really want to hinge him over at his hips. So I'm pulling the collar, kicking into his belly and his hip here. Okay, and I'm also pulling his ankle. Okay, that's good to know too, with my ankle grip, pulling it towards me. All right, from here, just continue that momentum all the way, bringing his hips to the mat. Okay, which again, this helps us begin setting up berimbolos and things like that. But for now, we're just off balancing the person. All right, so kick, pull, twist. As he comes back, I shift my hips, my deli heel hook goes deeper, my toes go in the stomach, I pull that collar grip, I keep kicking him over to the mat. Okay? And ideally, you can do that quickly, okay? You'll feel the person begin coming back. Immediately, you're shifting your hips, going right into that backwards off balance. Back here.